as we know, a lot of people are on the sideline, right? Whether investors, end users, whatever the case may be, right? So it has a lot to do with what these stats look like. And obviously the level of inventory is still nonstop. We're still seeing, 500, 600, 700 listings come out every 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for a buyer? Lots of inventory to choose from.
Lots of options.
Right? And I can't stress this enough. The last 2 years, an investor couldn't go in there unless, you were working with the right realtor and finding off-market properties. You couldn't go in there and take your time and get your engineer through and your construction team and do all this, right? Now you sincerely have the time. You can go in there, you can, put in your conditional offers for 5, 7, 10 business days, whatever it may be. And this way it's better analyzed and there aren't any surprises on the back end.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I am Danni Migueis, head coach, realtor, and investor with Rebel Realty Barrie. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing with a fellow Reveler, Abdellah from Hamilton.
Yeah.
Ready?
What's up, Danny? How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well,
What do you got planned for us today?
A little bit of the same as always, just like the last video that we did, took a deeper dive into some stats and just kind of showing what looks like some stabilization price-wise here in Hamilton, regardless of the, inventory specs and days on market and absorption rates. So we'll go through all that fun stuff for sure. We're going to talk about some recent deals, some strategies that we've used as of recent, same old in some cases, and one that was kind of an anomaly that is really going to be a home run for the client. So we'll go through that, and then I wanted to talk about some bylaws, some zoning code changes here in Hamilton that is going to be just an absolute knockout for investors in terms of intensifying properties. I know you and I touched based on that with our IG live earlier this week. So as promised, I'm going to double down on that and just kind of speak to that effect. We don't have everything in place yet, but between our team office and 555 construction, we're doing our daily homework, and but it's all great news on the investor front for sure.
That is awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing about it, especially about the new bylaws. That's going to be game changing for all of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, guys. So yeah, we're Rebel Hamilton Central here in downtown Hamilton on John Street. I'm the head coach, quote unquote, operator of the location. We've been in office since March 1st. We've been in our new office here since June 1st, and growing efficiently for sure. So I think we've just crossed the 20 agent mark in the last couple of days. Yeah, so
congratulations.
Thank you. We can chat about it more at the Christmas party on Saturday, Danny. But yeah, we've had an unreal last couple of days on the recruiting side, and I'm excited to share it with the rest of the team this weekend. So
awesome.
So as we've done, I think since our first video, Danny, I'd like to talk about the median here, just to give a clear vision where the price points are landing in Hamilton. I always like to go back and note the changes, right? Coming into 2022, we knew it was at an absolute torrid pace.
Yep.
right? You see 970 creeped over to the 7-figure mark. And then obviously we know the interest rates came into place. Let's not beat a dead horse. And, it's a steady decline in the median price. What I would want to point out is if we're looking at July, August, September, October,
Yep.
there's been barely any change.
No, it's holding
right?
steady.
So it's the stabilization is there, right? We went through the panic phase. I know I've said this in previous videos, but I can't harp it enough when, I'm speaking to the effect of somebody wanting to get into investing or intensify their portfolio. We have the data now where we can go in there and apply the BRRRR method on most of these, and we know on the way another way. There's no more guessing where, and throughout the spring, you really had to be careful because you didn't know where it was going. We all knew it was going down further because of what the government decided to do with, or the Bank of Canada with the interest rate hikes. So, but there's a huge stabilization effect here in Hamilton. It's clear not only on paper stat wise, but boots on the ground, day to day realtor stuff like we see it with our day to day transactions. So again, we always like to involve the viewers and drop your guesses in the comments below to see where the median price in Hamilton November is going to land. And it's always exciting to see what that number comes back at a month later. So,
Yes.
but all in all, definitely finding a stabilization in Hamilton here. So this one's a bit different. It's definitely more in your face here. You can see by all the figures across the board. So we don't usually put up this table, but it really does itemize the different classes of property, right? Detached, semi, right? You see that row, apartment, mobile. So in essence, right, if you look at the October 2022 stats, the monthly stats, the year-over-year sales is still down huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know one of the thumbnails I put out a little while ago for one of the previous videos, it said minus 35.2%. I even had my buddies chime in and they're like, we're honestly down that much. And I had nothing to do with the price point. It had to do with the sales activity, right?
Yeah.
The buyer and seller back and forth here. So as we know, a lot of people are on the sideline, right? Whether investors, end users, whatever the case may be, right? So it has a lot to do with what these stats look like. And obviously the level of inventory is still nonstop. Right. We're in our board with RAB, even though we're integrated with multiple surrounding areas, we're still seeing, 500, 600, 700 listings come out every 24 hours. Right.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for a buyer? Lots of inventory to choose from.
Lots of options.
Right. Days on market. If you pay attention to the middle of that chart, where it says days on market there, then year over year, 150%, at least on the detached side. But those numbers are all pretty eye popping, right? When it comes to where we were last couple of years, right? Whether Hamilton or Barrie, things are basically flying off the shelves in 7 days, right? Hold offers, firm deal, deposits in, off you go. So, right, between the lack of sales activity, the continuous heightened inventory, and the days on market, the ability, and I can't stress this enough, the last 2 years, an investor couldn't go in there unless, you were working with the right realtor and finding off-market properties. You couldn't go in there and take your time and get your engineer through and your construction team and do all this, right? Now you sincerely have the time. You can go in there, you can, put in your conditional offers for 5, 7, 10 business days, whatever it may be. And this way it's better analyzed and there aren't any surprises on the back end, right? And we hold that at a high level.
There's more comfortability there, right? Like you have the time
Exactly.
now to show them the right numbers.
Yes, absolutely. And we can go through with yeah, exactly, Danny. So, and we can go through with a fine tooth comb on the engineering side, the construction side. By then we've already, I've already analyzed, or one of our office members have already analyzed the feasibility part of it.
Mhm.
But I wanted to kind of showcase this particular stat chart to highlight the amount of opportunities there are out there. Not only us just seeing it and watching the majority of listings being reduced over and over again,
Yeah.
but stats don't lie, right? And those should be eye popping on the buying side for sure.
Yeah.
So moving on, a little bit more of the same for October here. So sales are down huge, 43.5%. Inventory's up, right? There's that inversion.
191%.
Yeah, nuts. Wow. It was like this too in last month's video. So again, it's a continuous influx of listings.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fall, right? You and I both know as realtors, that's a very happening time, right?
Yeah.
People wait, majority of people wait for kids to settle in and then they go find their new home,
mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, investors are all year round, which is we're always thankful of that. But sales down to that degree, inventory up to that degree, months of supply up huge. I mean, it's a skewed stat because we're comparing it to last year, year over year, which we know that the absorption rate was probably a fifth of this, right?
Yes.
Which, to me, this is still so mind-boggling that it would take for the viewers out there, essentially, what an absorption rate is, the amount of inventory in a local market, how long it would take to deplete that inventory without any new influx of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're at 13 weeks there.
Yep.
Okay, that's an incredible amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just goes hand in hand with the buyer's market that's in place in most of Southern Ontario. And then average days on market's another big one. That's basically quadrupled, more or less. I mean, I think even in the last month or two, that was at like 17, 18 days on market. So that's even creeping up on a shorter timeline. So all this should tell you is there's an immense amount of opportunity out there. But again, trying to be realistic about everything. Those numbers are just you're coming out of a pandemic market into an interest rate kind of driven change, right? Yeah. So, but it's good news for the buyers, like I keep saying here. And then to get into some of the nitty gritty here. So I know everybody, was aware of Doug Ford's announcement on the provincial level. I think everybody knows what he wants to do and the Conservatives want to do in terms of allowing intensification without still going through, the BS that some municipalities make you go through.
Mm-hmm.
On the municipal level, we saw this announcement. It wasn't super public from what I saw. I just saw it in a tweet, essentially, and then dove into it from there. So what's called the Yellow Belt, which is basically portions of any municipality that have a nucleus of like high density, like commercial residential structures in place.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, that's surrounded by low density zonings. In Hamilton, primarily C and D zoning, which if you're a Hamiltonian, every other property is a C or D. So they've taken that and essentially have rezoned it to R1 and R1A. Again, that means different things in different municipalities. In Hamilton right now, as you can see the slide, it's allowing up to 4 dwelling units.
Wow.
Mind you, that doesn't mean, I can do absolutely anything with the property that I want, right? Put 2 ADUs on there, whatever the case is. We're not there yet. These were just incepted. We've been actually kind of reading about the stuff behind the scenes for 2 or 3 months. And, even if you go into the interactive zoning map in Hamilton now, you will see that it is fully recognized across the board. But this is, I know I'm, being repetitive here, but it's an absolute game changer.
Yes.
Right. As long as you're finding the right property, if you're going to the height of the feasibility, meaning, call it a 2.5 story with basement, converting that to 3 legal units and having a 4th ADU,
Mhm.
right? So we're kind of still shaking out the specs on all of it, but all the C&D zoning stuff has taken a turn for the better. We have multiple clients now that have just purchased that I've already seen the benefits from it. So slowly but surely, Hamilton's chipping away at all the red tape. But again, absolutely, some
Game
great
changer.
news for sure. Yeah, Christmas came early. We'll put it that way.
Perfect.
Right.
That's what your investors love to hear.
Absolutely. So we'll going to go through an investment opportunity here, Danny, and then we're going to dive in to some recent deals, just kind of explaining, the ins and outs of the deal. A couple cool ones in there as we wind down the presentation. So this one is a listing that our office is holding right now. So it is Zone C, but we'll be transitioning into the R1 zoning as well. Really great lot, 65 by 100, in a really nice neighborhood in Lower Stony Creek. So it's over 1,000 square feet. Basement. We actually featured this one in the duplex conversion tour that Hamilton Central, Rebel Hamilton Central managed, and 555. Yeah. That we all collaborated to do. Great turnout there. So we'll be doing another one come February, March. So we're going to plan that in the new year after we enjoy the holidays here too. So
yeah, that is on your real estate page, right? I believe I saw it there. So that's where the viewers can take a quick peek at it, or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can. We just put out some really cool content from that day. Okay. Super pumped about that and overwhelmed with how it went. We'll always be funneling through, the Madge Realty Group, 555, and then all of our agents here at the office. Right, we're just trying to position the education side of it, and having people come out and really learn about what's going on. It just because Hamilton, right? This is going to be nonstop for God knows how long on the investment side in the city, right? So we just want to make sure everybody's prepared and can have conversations with these investors. So, but this one in particular, really straightforward specs, nice big lot, 65 by 100, almost 1,100 square feet. Absolute knockout duplex conversion, super easy, high ceilings, big footprint. ADU for sure allowable here. 4,700 bucks we're projecting on the gross rents just on the duplex. ADU the stats aren't fully available. We're seeing some kind of go closer to the mid twos, depending, if they're a 2-bed or not. I think that's about, you're allowed up to 800 square feet. So that's about as much as you can configure that unit. But really straightforward. This one does need quite a bit of work, but an awesome way to sink your teeth into a project. So available on the MLS is 649.9.
Yeah, those numbers are juicy, buddy.
Yeah, that's it, right? It's the debt load talk, right? Like these things cost $850,000-$900,000 for 2 years, right? Now see where we stand. We all know these rates are going to regress at some point next year. I'm being maybe a little too optimistic, but from what we're hearing on the mortgage side, and eventually, right, the cash flow might not look the greatest now, but the asset is gonna stabilize even further, right? So, but for a long-term hold between the area, the tenant profile, and the rents, you can't get any better. So, just to highlight that as well. 66 Erie Avenue. So this one's in the Stinson neighborhood. For those of you who watch these videos monthly, right around the corner from 88 Tisdale Street South. I know we put that out a few times. Thankfully, that one is sold to some very lucky investors. But this one in particular is tenanted. You see the rents there. So they're legacy tenants, of course. But the building's solid. You can see all brick. Danny, I think I know you and Dan have been to Stinson many of times, right, with our old office there especially. So This one's coming under the R1 zoning. So it's already a legal non-conforming too, which is nice.
Yes.
But it's highest is best use. You're going to legal 3, which will now be allowed on this parcel. Not to say you might not need a minor variance with parking, but 145-foot deep lot, very rare for the area. But an incredible opportunity nonetheless. I've been through this property once or twice. Even though it needs an immense amount of work inside, the bones are rock solid. And these ones in Stinson and St. Clair, as for those Hamiltonians, they're all built very well. So, but a great opportunity nonetheless. So
it's a beautiful looking building.
Yeah. Then that's
from
rock
the outside.
Solid there. So yeah, from the outside.
I haven't seen the inside, but yes.
But us as investors, right? The worse the better.
Yes.
Let us get in there and rip it apart and create the new units. But reach out to us, guys. If you're interested in a project of this magnitude, really great burr, and not a lot of these are available right now in the market. So,
and Abdellah and his team can help you from start to finish. Like, not only can you get in and see this property, but they can help you figure out how to convert that into those beautiful apartments with 555 construction.
Exactly. Appreciate the plug there, buddy. So yeah, between that, and we'll take you right to the leasing stage of things. So we're not hands off until first and last is in your hand, and the tenants have the key, and then everybody can go on their merry way, and you guys can cash flow. So next one. So this is a recent deal that we did. It was transacted off market. Just within our network, some of our clients picked this up, closing in a few weeks. Your standard bungalow conversion, similar to Orlando. This one's on the Hamilton East Mountain in the Huntington area, so close to rec center, schools, huge shopping center right around within about half a kilometer away. So we picked this one up for $650. This main floor is already done, which is really nice. So 555 will be going in there to just create laundry upstairs and then focus 99% of our energy in the basement. And then future ADU here for sure. Great parking situation, fits about 5 cars. So essentially both units are going to have multiple parking spots.
Yep.
The street parking is all unrestricted. That's kind of the common theme on the mountain. Rent's pretty similar to Orlando at $4,600 monthly, and then a future ADU. You see the numbers there. But these are super safe investments. This is what I preach about these all the time. But now where zoning is, you're just the ability to intensify it has never been there right until now. So, but,
Is that renovation budget including the future ADU, or is that the reno for the lot?
Yeah, that would just be for the current reno. It is a full build out in the basement.
Yeah.
This one was nice because it already had 200 amp electrical service as well.
Oh, wow.
Again, the main floor being done, so we'll be able to market it for lease right away and get that at $5,200 for our clients for first and last to help the carrying costs.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be diving into some ADU construction costs in some future videos, but I appreciate you bringing up, Danny. So that's just for the conversion. Current ARV stands about mid-8s, and to me that's only going to go up in the next 8, 12 months in my opinion here. So, but an off-market one nonetheless, right? Something our team does very diligently in the way we prospect out our office here. So. Next one is on 232 East 44th. A bit of a unique approach here where the current owners purchased this as the pandemic set in.
Okay.
So they actually did everything to code, meaning, fireation, as well as all the specs, all the bylaw specs that were needed, right? These things are super easy because they're already, the blueprint is already there.
Yep.
With side entrance ceiling height, the parking bylaw requirements that were dropped a little while ago in Hamilton, only needing one spot for a legal duplex, which is super helpful.
Yep.
So what we're actually doing on this one is it's already tenanted, which is great. You're gonna have $3,700 coming in while you do whatever you need to do. So we're doing a retroactive permit. So essentially going in there, we've already done the drawings on this from our good friends over at Deck Inc. and Mike Pongetti, the lead engineer there. So we're essentially going to go in, have the city inspector come in, itemize what needs to be done, which is very minor. There's already egress windows here. The ceiling is fire rated properly. There will be some things that need to be done. Possible electrical upgrade as well. So we purchased for $675, which it's a great price for the investor.
Yeah.
But the big thing is here is not spending nearly as much and still getting that future ARV. But mind you, the other side of it is you're inheriting tenants that are paying below market value, right?
Yes.
So it really goes, at the end of the day, it all shakes out. But these are ones that we're starting to see here and there. This one was just an anomaly because of how close to formally being done it was. So which was key here. So and then again, it's the inheriting those below market rents and then kind of going into the waiting game to see when you can turn them over, right? So and we all know how tenancy laws are in this province.
Yeah, we sure do.
Right. So I think this is the last one in terms of actual properties. One of the coolest ones, to be honest, I've done in my career.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I hope I can walk you through it, Danny, next time you and Dan are down here in Hamilton. But so this one's zoned E. So it already allows up to 4 units and beyond, depending on lot coverage and square footage and parking. So it's 5,000 square feet. The first president of Stelco, I was told, lived in this property. So you can imagine how old it is. It was constructed in the late 1800s, but absolutely just something out of a magazine above grade. So it's like 7-bed, 4-bath. So what 555 is going in there to do is put in permit applications for a legal triplex conversion, which it absolutely support. It's in an unreal area in Durant and Kirkendale, right near St. Joe's Hospital, where we will be prospecting for tenants through that avenue.
Nurses,
on the healthcare side.
Doctors,
That's it. Bring them on over. So the one thing you can't see in this picture is the 2-story carriage house in the rear. Accessory dwelling unit, if you will. There's probably 7 different ways you can say this this day and age. So, which is already ready to go, and essentially going to be rented right away. And while we focus on the construction of the main house and the basement, again, one of the coolest ones that I've done for sure. By the end, will be in the low 11,000s there in gross rents, as well as the ability to do short-term rentals here. So really cool project. Super pumped to be involved with this one. Definitely a one-off, but can't wait to see what the clients do here. So
now tell me, you guys are going to be filming this.
Yeah. This one will be. There'll be a lot of video footage to document the journey here for sure. So I mean, these kind of assets aren't readily available, but just to kind of double down on what I'm saying is that despite what something looks like, whether it's too luxurious, whatever the case is, there's always the ability to intensify in the city now. So and it has up to 6-car parking. So it's got 2 in the rear, and then off the front there you can fit 4. So which is amazing. So
now something like this with your clients, do you propose to them to charge for parking as like an extra added, or is it included in these kinds of projects?
Yeah, no, great question. I would say it's case by case. If we kind of sit back and look at the the NOI and the overall analytics of things, we'll kind of decide from there. I have clients that charge for parking, some that don't, and kind of build it in, and maybe just don't want the, even though it's just easy to itemize that in a lease. I think it's case by case, but just playing off what you said there, Dan, which is a great point, is the ability to get your base rent plus utilities or hydro and $50, $75, $100 a parking spot, depending on the situation at hand. So
Awesome.
And that's it for the deal side of things. AmeriCorps developments, we like to touch on these. Great for first-time investors. 1 and 2 bed units available here. You can see the potential rental income down in Westdale, A+ area, not too far from McMaster University and all that's going on in that pocket. So tons of units left, as you know, exclusively through Rebel Hamilton Central here.
So are these already renovated and available now to purchase, or
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So they're being basically converted, chunk by chunk. It's really well maintained building. Again, it's got parking. The area is dynamite, and we can essentially kind of get in line here with anybody that's interested and speak to the agent, our agent Karine here, who's overseeing all these, and kind of get you in line with ones that are coming up. So don't have to necessarily wait until it's done, but we can get you exclusive access before the construction is completed, which is really cool.
That is awesome. And then in this building, have you seen any Airbnbs yet? Are they allowed?
Yeah, they're allowed for sure. The STRs there. I haven't personally seen it. I would imagine there is. I know a few units that have transacted there have been end users, student rentals naturally because of the proximity to Mac. But they would be unreal Airbnbs, like nice, quaint. They're done tastefully. You can see the staging there. That basically looks like an Airbnb ad, right? So yeah, lots more units still to come here. So, and then lastly, shameless promoting, right, Danny?
Hey, we got to do what we got to do, guys.
That's it, buddy. Rebel Hamilton Central. Always looking for agents to join. Mind you, we have a unique screening process and the type of agents that we want, to be a part of our unique, high energy office here in Hamilton. We're having a blast growing together, and couldn't ask for a better situation. But we're always looking for like-minded solo agents. If you're investor focused, it's a bonus, but it's definitely not a must and a prerequisite. So just wanted to keep that slide consistent here.
And I can attest that being part of the Rebel brand just brings you to the next level. And then being under Abdellah's knowledge and expertise there in Hamilton, you'll definitely excel if you wanted to join.
I try. So yeah, that's it for me, Danny.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate you letting me interview you today and giving us such a great update on Hamilton, the new bylaws, and what you've been up to. We really appreciate it. And all of Abdellah's information will be in the link below, or in the comment section below there, for you to be able to get in touch with him if you have questions about 555 construction or on the real estate side.
Perfect. Awesome, Danny. Yeah, if you guys any more info on any of these, the stats or the deals that we talked about, and you're looking to get in, please don't hesitate to reach out. Madge Realty Group, Rebel Hamilton Central. We'll look after you and show you how we do things on the investment side.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Danny.